So now, when we go to a store, it's a lot of stuff in front of you. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of advertising. And over the years, people, you look at the eggs, for example. I remember when I was younger, it was like there was white and there's brown, and that was about it. And then eventually somebody added in like some omega-3, and then now you've got free range, and you've got free run. You've got all kinds of other stuff going on. So last time I went, there was 9 different types of eggs in there. What's the difference? What's the healthiest for me?
Yeah, it can be confusing because there are a lot of options available. And like you said, when it's simple and there's kind of 2 choices, like you don't really kind of think twice about it. So one is just definitely like looking at your budget, because I think start with budget, because as you've seen, like some eggs can be, $3 for a dozen, whereas others can be $6 or $7. That's a big difference. That's almost double the price for eggs in the same thing. So yeah, the first is budget. So determine how much you want to spend on it. And then the next would be to look like if, say, for example, like local is always great. If there's local pasteurized eggs, like that's really a good source. If there's a local farmer, like sometimes, you'll see, and you'll be driving through the country and there might be eggs for purchase. So that's a really good option because you're buying it very local and you help supporting local business. So that's definitely a plus. So I'd look for that first of all. And then if you can only go to the grocery store, if that's not an option for you. The second would be organic or free range eggs. So those are kind of second to local pasteurized eggs, and those are really quite good too, because then that way the chickens have had time to be able to go outside and just be able to forage and kind of be in their natural environment and natural diet. So that would be second best. And then third would be like free run eggs. So that would be the next best option. So basically like the hens are still able to roam free and be sort of in their natural habitat as well. I think one confusing part is just the vitamin enriched eggs. So say like omega-3, for example, I don't usually encourage people to spend extra money if they don't have to on those, just because there's not really that much omega-3 content. It's quite low. And so it's better to get that from, fish sources. So that's really like oily fish. So salmon and trout, those are really the most concentrated sources. So it's better to spend your money on that rather than omega-3 rich eggs. So that's kind of what I go with. If I was to pick like the ones that I go with, I try to get local if I can, or free range ones.
So here's something that since we're on eggs, there's a couple of follow-up ones, because you're talking about pasteurized. You said that a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Now, I keep hearing from people in Europe. They're saying, you North Americans are insane. You store your eggs in the fridge. Why do you? We don't. We store our eggs on the counter. But my understanding is they don't wash their eggs, mm-hmm. whereas we wash our eggs, and there's a difference in the preservation. Have you heard anything about that?
A little bit, but yeah, I don't quite know, because I do know in other countries like they do keep them out, so it must be the way that they're processing them, like you mentioned about the pasteurization. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess because we're just so used to refrigerating them, that's sort of the way.
Yeah, we don't know. It's like, is there another way?
Just to be safe, right? So yeah, and you want to look for the dates, and obviously when you're getting them, you want to look that there's no cracks or anything like that. But yeah, I would.
Sounds good. Yeah, and something else I remember hearing about omega-3 that was interesting was there was, you always heard, I heard these stories from my grandparents, and they were always talking about cod liver oil. And one of the things I've heard is that cod liver oil is where the whitefish, or the cod, as an example, stores the omega-3. Mm-hmm. And then the salmon and the other fatty fish, they have it within them. So that's next to the flesh. Mm-hmm. So that was always kind of interesting. So do you ever recommend cod liver oil anymore?
Yeah, because it was actually, I had some people who that's how they grew up, like consuming cod liver oil just to get omega-3. The reason I believe it's the vitamin A content. There's a certain fat soluble vitamin that's really high in cod liver oil. And I do believe it's vitamin A, that you just don't want that much concentrated source of it. So I usually do recommend getting it from other sources that are not cod liver oil. So usually I actually get people to switch now, just because there's so many other supplement options that can come from, salmon or some of those other fish too. So yeah, I believe it's that concentration.
Yeah, well, thanks for clearing that up. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.